Yeah, please be on mute. Okay, fine. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. If you have any doubts, please unmute your mic and talk to me. Okay, don't drop a message because I'm I'm not checking the check box, messenger box. Fine. So you know about software development life cycle. We already discussed about software development life cycle. Like it has different stages, different phases, like analysis, uh, design, development, testing, and deployment. Right. So here we have a couple of SDLC models, different models. Okay. So depending on the type of a project, depending on the cost and the duration, okay, I mean the time and the budget, and mostly depending on the type of a project, we follow different SDLCs, different SDLC models. Okay, so here we have a couple of SDLC models. Let's see: waterfall model, spiral model, incremental model, V-shaped model, RAD model, that is RAD model, RUP, Agile, it's Scrum, and also prototype and some other SDLC models. So let's see one after other. So first one is the most traditional one, waterfall model. Okay. See, as I told you, these SDLCs, I mean, we have to choose these SDLC life cycles depending on the type of a project and the duration and cost. Okay. Look at this waterfall model. Let me brief about this waterfall model first. Give an idea about waterfall model first. Then we will look into these. Okay, presentations. Now, waterfall model is mostly used by service companies. You know what is the difference between service and product based companies, right? Where is service organizations, they develop their own application, sorry, wherein product based companies, they develop their own applications, and service IT companies, they provide service to different clients. Now, in this project, in this model, once BA gather the requirements on the top, you can see a diagram, right? Requirements and design. It is a SDLC structure, as you know. Once the requirements are gathered by business analyst, and once the requirements are gathered, documented, okay, and once the requirement document is sent to designers, I mean, once the designers start design, if client want to change any requirement in the middle of this process, I mean, in the designing or development or wherever it is not possible. There is no opportunity for a client to change or modify or whatever it is, or add any new requirement or change any old requirement. Got it? That means requirements will be freezed here. Whatever the requirements you gathered, once the client is finalized, then that's it. There is no opportunity for a client to change. And there is no opportunity for a client to see what is happening, view inside the process what is happening also. Okay. So it is like, client orders you, you finish the project, and after finishing the project, you design the project, after finishing, you just hand it over to client. That's it. So it's a very big drawback, right? And the second drawback is it is a time taking process. It takes a lot of time. So basically it's a service company, right? So they take huge time because they want more money. The simple logic here is they want more time, they want more money, so they reduce they increase the time. Okay. And the third point here is why they named it as waterfall model. Because see, water always flows from top to bottom. Water never flows from bottom to top, right? That means no going back, no returning back, no changes in the middle. Okay? No insertions, no deletions, no repetitions. So we call it as waterfall model. Clear? So for what type of projects we use this waterfall model? I mean, what type of applications we use this waterfall model means for existing to new applications, like moving old version to new version. Okay, like let's say iPhone 5s 5s to 6, 4s to 5c, 5c to 5s, 5s to 6, like this. If you look into Windows, XP to Vista, Vista to 7, 7 to 8, like this. For moving from existing or old version to new version, we use this waterfall model. Clear? And you know what are these requirements, designing, implementation stages. No need to repeat it again. The next one is, let's continue this waterfall. Waterfall strengths. Let's see what are the strengths of this waterfall model. Easy to understand, easy to use. Why? Why? Because, as I told you, there are no repetitions, there are no insertion of new requirements in the middle. So it is easy to use, okay, and easy to understand also. Why? Because it takes a lot of time, huge time. Slowly, people work on it little slowly, like they will understand the things and they move it. It is not like a not in a hurry situations. Okay. Second strength is provide structure to inexperienced staff. Yes, it provides structure to inexperienced, means freshers who don't have any experience. Like if you see into IT companies, like service companies, like TCS, Infosys, okay, IBM, what they do basically, they hire fresh people like through campus interviews. If you see in India, okay, so from colleges, from universities, they will take the people directly. Okay, they conduct campus interviews and they hire people, and they pay very less because they are freshers, right? So they pay very less and they train these candidates. They train according to their technical knowledge, according to their ability, according to their communication skills or analytical skills. Okay, according to their skills, they train different technologies, different methodologies, whatever it is, and those people will be placed in different projects. Okay, so it provides structure to such inexperienced staff people, freshers. So what do you mean by this is, so for a fresher, suppose a fresher joined in a project, okay, this fellow have no idea. This fellow have to undergo training first. So slowly they will do, okay, because they are not experienced people, right? Slowly, as I told you, waterfall is a slow process. So like requirement gathering, it takes 4 to 5 months of time or maximum 6 months of time, let's say. Designing stage 6 months of time. Like overall projects, I can say 3 years, wherein the same project you can design in 1 year. Okay, so slowly people will learn the things and work on the project. So what service companies do here is they take more money from the client. Like they say that we are paying around so $60 or $50 per an hour, and they pay around $20 or $10. Just an example I'm saying, okay, and the remaining money, service companies, okay, they take it, that's it. So this is all techniques played by service companies. That is the reason product based companies, they started their own development centers, because they don't want to waste time, they don't want to waste their money, they don't want to put their projects in a new people hand. Okay, they don't want to take all these such type of risks. That is the reason they started their own IT companies, and they're developing their own applications by using agile models. I'll tell you what is agile with scrum. Okay, RAD, we'll see the next sessions. Okay, now milestones are well understood. Yes, whatever you are going to get by the output, you will have very good idea. Okay, sets requirement stability. Yes, requirements are stable. Stable means no changes, right? And the requirements, good for management control, plan, staff, and track. Yes, of course. People listen your word because they are inexperienced staff and the freshers. See, let's say 5 developers or freshers, they will be having a team lead, an experienced person. So this person will train them and make them to you know do the project. So they listen. Okay, if you ask them to work for 10 hours also, they will work. So good for management control, plan, staff, and track. Works well when quality is more important than cost or schedule. Yes. So when client asks them, like, why you're taking a lot of time, they simply tell to client that if you want good quality, then you have to send give I mean then you have to wait. That's it. You should have patience. That's it. Okay, so if you want good quality, then obviously it takes more time. That's it. So these are the strengths I can say. And deficiencies: all requirements must be known front upfront. Yes, weaknesses: so if you miss any requirement, if you miss any important requirement in the requirement stage, then at the end of the day the project will be failure, or there is no satisfaction for the client. Correct? So whatever you want to do, you decide in the beginning, in the requirement stage only. Okay. Next, deliverables created for
Um,
each.
um,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah. In terms of the requirements, is it the service company that is capturing the requirement? Um, are they doing that solely? They're not going to be a part of the other phases of the waterfall model. For instance, maybe a particular IBM as a service company is
Mhm,
responsible to gather the requirements
mhm,
for their client, and
mhm.
so after gathering the requirement, they, they just pass on the requirement to the next company who will be responsible for the design.
Not next company, not next company. Uh, this is all one project team, right? These all people are in one project team. It's a team, right?
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
team. It's a team members, right? So you'll have a project manager who take care of all these team members. Who are the team members? BA, designers,
For the
developers, testers.
Okay. So
Correct? Hmm.
the challenge for me, the challenge is why are they not, if at the point of possibly designing the project and then or possibly testing the project, they are doing a UAT test and then
Hmm.
the customer or the client is not comfortable with what has been captured or what has been designed.
Hmm.
Um, why is it that they cannot make a modification to the already?
Right. Right. I understand. Yeah, I'll tell you. Be on mute. See,
Okay.
the model itself says it's a waterfall. That means the model is like that. First point is the model is like that. If you are going with a waterfall model, so whatever the requirements you gathered from the client, they are freezed. That's it. I mean, you cannot change. So
Okay.
client should be very careful that they have to think 100 times before giving requirements to this team. Got it?
Okay.
So, okay, let's say when it comes to user acceptance testing or something. So if client is not satisfied means client sees that, I mean, whatever the requirements client had given, only those requirements are designed. Correct?
Mm.
If any of these requirements are missing, then we have to work on it, but not new requirements. So let's say
Okay.
client gave 100 requirements. You have to make sure that the 100 requirements should be done in
Mm.
a project. But if you do only 90 requirements and the 10 requirements are missing, then obviously you have to do it. Team have to
Yeah.
work on it because already client gave in the beginning only. So
Okay.
this is a standard. I mean, when I say waterfall model, this is a standard. Let's see what happens here. Suppose if client is not satisfied, let's assume okay, you've put all the 100 requirements and you design the project, but still client is not happy. I mean, they were feeling like, no, we are not satisfied because there is no chance of changing requirement. We thought of adding something, but we didn't do that. Then what they do is, in the next version, in the next release, okay, they will add these requirements. That's it.
Okay.
Anyhow, when I say waterfall, like releases will be there, like iPhone 5s to 6s. So let's assume when they're designing iPhone 5s, if you miss any requirement or something, like if client feel later, okay, then what client will do? Client will make a note and put that in the next release, that is 6. So in a 6 you will get that. Got it?
Mm.
So this is how it works. So
Okay.
yeah, all requirements must be known front, deliverables. Yeah, all requirements must be known upfront, because if you miss any requirement, then okay, that client has to satisfy. Deliverables created for each phase are considered frozen. Yes, that's what I'm saying. See, deliverables created for each phase, like let's say requirements gathering stage. If they say 6 months, so 6 months you have to stay. I mean, whether you finish the requirements, let's assume you are a BA now. Now you're a business analyst, and the requirement gathering part, as per the work breakdown structure, you got 6 months of time. In this 6 months, you have to do it. If you finish the requirement part less than 6 months, also you have to wait. You have to wait till 6 months. Got it? Let's assume you finished in 3 months. The remaining 3 months you have to sit idle. That's it. There is you should not move it to next level. I mean, you should not give it to designers. Deliverables created are for each phase, each stage are considered frozen. Inhibits flexibility. No flexibility. Okay, because time, right? They go with along with the time. That's it. If they say 6 months, 6 months you have to spend on the requirement gathering. That's it. Next, can give a false impression of progress. Yes, already it gave. I told you, right? That is the reason product-based companies started their own development centers. Does not reflect problem-solving nature of software development. Iterations of phases. Let's see the first point. Does not reflect problem-solving nature of software development. How can you solve a problem? I mean, how can you? I mean, you're not even changing anything, right? First thing is you don't get any problem basically because you're not adding anything. Okay, there won't be any solution for it. And iterations of phases means repetitions, no repetitions, like going back, doing again, going back, doing again. It is not like that. You can't do that. Okay, integration is one big bang at the end. When it comes to testing, when it comes to deployment, one, and when it comes to the project end, sometimes in testing phase they may find huge bugs. So at that time it will be very difficult, okay, to resolve all the bugs. Sometimes you have to do the project again repeatedly, like if you find huge bugs. Okay, now a little opportunity for customer to preview the system until it may be too late. So very less opportunity customer have here. As I told you, right, customer can't see in the middle of the process what are the wireframes they design. I mean, in what way the developers have written a code, or what way the designers are designed. They can't see. Very less opportunity you have, like client will have, like only they will show you like high level, but no changing. There is no possible of change management. Okay, that's it. They are saying these are the deficiencies. Of course, it's a weakness. See, waterfall is an old model. It is a traditional model. I can say it is a parent of all other SDLCs. It is a parent of all other SDLCs. Okay, it's an old traditional model, but still people use this because it is useful for migration process. As I told you, right, old version to new version. So they will add something in this. So it is not like they don't follow as it is. They bring some modifications and they add some other SDLC to this, and they will make it move forward in a better way. So I will tell you how it works later. First, you just concentrate on the waterfall model, the basic points. Okay, when to use the waterfall model? Requirements are very well known. Product definition is stable. Okay, requirements are very well known. When you know the requirements before, then you go with this waterfall model. When you're okay, when you're freezed with the requirements, then you go. Otherwise, if you have any doubts that or if client has any doubts on the requirements, please don't start it. Okay, product definition is stable. That's what I said. Definition, the output, what you want to see should be stable. Technology is understood. Yes, before only you should think about the technology twice, thrice, whether this can be useful or not. Java, .NET, whatever the programming. New version of an existing product. Yes, as I told you, right? New version of an existing iPhone 6 or 5s. That's it. Porting an existing product to a new platform. Moving a project from old version to new version, existing to new platform. This is all about waterfall model. Okay. So do you have any doubts in waterfall, Femi?
It's fine, it's fine.
You understand, right? Okay, you'll
Yeah,
understand
sure.
in a better way when we look into when you compare this model with other models, then you'll get a clear idea. No, don't worry. And the second one is prototype. Prototype model is completely opposite to waterfall. First point, prototype is used for new projects, brand new projects, like new starting development, like iPhone first model. I'm not talking about 5 to 6, something like that. The first one, or Windows operating system first model, or like Facebook, if you see first, I mean it's a brand new one. I mean it's a new application, correct? I mean, like It is not a new application, but what I'm saying is when they designed it, it was a fresh startup. I mean, we don't have any existing Facebook applications earlier, right? So such type of applications, I mean, whatever it is, the first one, the first development is prototype model. Prototype is nothing but a sample model, you can say. Okay, a skeleton structure, you can say, a blueprint, you can say. Prototype can be in many ways. You can draw it on a paper, like a wireframe. You can draw it on a wireframe on MS Visio, or pencil sketch, or blueprint, I can say. Or sometimes you really develop a physical object. Okay, like physical object you design and show this is a sample model. Or else animated, through animation also you can, I mean, you design a car. Let's assume we are designing a car. Can you hold a second? I'm getting a call.
That's fine.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we are right. Developers build a prototype during the requirements phase. Yeah, we are talking about prototyping, right? So sample model. Prototype is nothing but a sample model. Like you can design on an animated picture also. Like, I mean, if you take an example of a car like Mercedes Benz or BMW or Rolls Royce, something we are designing, what they do first, they design, these engineers, they show that they show to client, they design on animation, one animation's movie, a small clip, and they will show to client, this is how the car looks like as per your requirements at the end of the day. Okay, this is how the interior looks like, this is how the exterior body looks like as per the client requirement, correct? So these are different types of prototypes you will find. Okay, so what is the use of this, I mean, why we have to show these prototypes to client? I mean, what is the use of these prototypes means, we have to draw these prototypes, design these prototypes, and show it to client. Now client will decide whether to design this application, I mean, whether to go with the same or to modify that. You got my point, right? But in waterfall, what happens? There is no opportunity for a client to change or modify anything, any requirement in middle of the process. But here, once client satisfies, then only we move forward. I mean, you have to keep on changing whenever, until unless client satisfies the requirements. You have to develop them, design them. Sometimes you have to write a code, sometimes you have to drop wireframes. That's it. Let's see here. Developers build a prototype during the requirements phase. Prototype is evaluated by end users. Okay, client will look into this. Users give corrective feedback. Now client will give correct feedback. As per the feedback, developer further refine the prototype. As per the client feedback, developers further refine it, keep on refining until unless client is satisfied. When the user is satisfied, the prototype code is brought up to the standards needed for final product. Yes, now you have to fix it once client is satisfied. Okay, next. What are the steps? What steps we have to follow in prototype? Let's see. A preliminary project plan is developed. An idea first. An idea is generated first. A partial high-level paper model is created. Put it on a paper. Put that idea on a paper. Put that logic on a paper. The model is a source for partial requirement specification. Yes, this model is a source to design something now. The requirements, right? A prototype is built with basic and critical attributes. Yeah, as I told you, right? Prototype can be anything, a physical design or a paper diagram. So, what is the critical attributes? The designer builds the database, user interface, algorithmic function. See, let's take a small example here. Now you are designing a Google search page. Only the search box is designed, that is user interface, right? That means where client can work on it, and that should be connected to your database so that when you type something the data should come. That connected to internet or something like that. And algorithmic functions, so it should have some functionalities. That means programmers will write a code for it, designer will design it. Only that one. I'm not talking about other advertisements or Gmail or YouTube, all the additional things what you see on Google page. I'm not talking about that, only particular application. Okay, so like this. Now the designer demonstrates the prototype. The user evaluates for problems and suggests improvements. This loop continues the user is until the user is satisfied. Okay, Femi? Are you following me what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
following.
it's pretty
So
clear.
basically, the whole concept of the software development, the concept of the software development lifecycle model, I used on projects, depending on the time, the cost, and the product.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, you asked me something or you are saying something? I didn't get you.
No, I'm asking you something. I said
Yeah.
the whole
Okay.
concept of the different models are
Uh-huh.
used because of basically the product, the time, and
Correct.
the cost.
Correct. Based on the type of a project. Is it a new project or is it an existing project? Or you are doing any enhancement or you are moving it from old to new version or something like, depends. It depends on the product, what type of product, what type of project it is. Okay? Depends on the type of
Yeah.
application. Correct. So basically, prototype is used for starting projects. Any project that is a starting one, we go with prototype. And after prototype, if you want to go to next version, then go with waterfall. That's it. Let's say you designed iPhone 3, first model, let's assume. iPhone 3s, iPhone 3 to 4. 3 to 4 is a waterfall. But the first model, let's assume iPhone 1 or iPhone 2 or iPhone 3, whatever it is, the first model, that is a prototype. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. Next, customers. Let's look into strengths. Customers can see the system requirements as they are being gathered. We are talking about strengths. Customers can see the system requirements as they are being gathered. Yes, it's a strength, right? So that
Yeah.
it's a strength for customer. It's a strength because the output you will get the right output. That's it. What it
Yeah.
is not like a waterfall model. I just like to satisfy by the end of the day. Okay, fine. Developers learn from customers. Yes. What do you mean by that? See, a lot of changes, right? You keep on changing requirements, changing, designing, development. So everyone, development team, like I can say BA, designers, developers, everyone, they learn a lot of things from client because hardcore training, something hardcore work here, like hands-on experience, keep on changing, keep on doing the work, correct? So
Yeah.
automatically people come hands-on experience. A more accurate end product. Yes, it's a tailor made, that's it. So waterfall is a ready made, you order over the phone and take that. But it is not like that. You sit with the tailor, you sit beside the tailor and see what this fellow is doing. If whatever the wish you want, you can client, if you want, you can change the design at any time according to your, today you say some design, tomorrow you say some design, the betterment you can bring. Okay, so a more accurate end product you will get it. Unexpected
But,
requirements
but
yeah. Yeah.
even with this model, the project also has a defined date, the
uh,
start and end date.
yes, there will be a start date, end date will be there, but we can postpone it because it's a It's a prototype model. There is a possibility of postponing because it's a first model, right?
Okay.
So sometimes, take a small example. Let's assume we are directing a movie. Okay, we are coming up with a movie. So sometimes what they say, we are releasing this month. All of a sudden they say that no, no, we are not releasing this month. We will be releasing after 6 months. That means what? That means they are doing some changes. They want to do some changes in that. Correct?
Mm.
It obviously it happens, right? So in
Yeah.
movies or products also, even they simply say that like we are coming in the next month. Immediately they'll say that no, no, we have to do a lot of changes with thought of bringing some new things into that. So it will take 2 more months. What are all these things? They are prototype because they are starting models. Because bit confused. They are a bit confused because it's a new one. They are not clear with the requirements. So at that time it's common. Okay, we can extend the time. See, we want an accurate end product. It is not the matter of end time. Correct? Right. Next, a more accurate end product. Unexpected requirements accommodated. Yes, of course, unexpectedly. Okay, allows for flexible design and development. Yes, flexible design. You can do it. Requirements you can do it 1 year, one month, 15 days, 2 months, 3 months, until unless you you finish the task. So flexibility is there, but in waterfall it's not like that. They are freezed, right? 6 months means 6 months you have to wait. Study visible signs of progress produced. Yes, whatever you want to see on the screen, the right output, you will get it here. Visible signs. Interaction with the prototype simulates awareness of additional needed functionality. Yes. See, with this prototype, I mean, by showing this sample model or a prototype to client, it brings new ideas. Okay, it brings new ideas when you show a sample model or a prototype to client. These are the strengths. Obviously we need more ideas. Obviously we need a better, the best uh, project. That is the main, because it's a starting one, it's a new one. Correct? That's it. So all about strengths. And coming to weaknesses, obviously when I say weakness, coding will be there, huge programming will be there, a lot of work will be there, and no rest at all. I mean, we don't know when the client change the requirement. We don't know when it is going to finish. Correct? This all comes under weaknesses. Correct? Tendency to abandon structure program development for code and fix. Yes, as I told you, right? Tendency to abandon. So don't know. We don't know when to fix it. I mean, we don't know when it is going to finish. You have to write a code. You have to fix it again. Again, you have to change the code because developers. It's a risky job for everyone, not only developers. Even client also. It's a, because for them also it's all sleepless nights. Client also, they keep on thinking, SMEs, what can be the best one, what would be the best one, all the sleepless nights, right? Everyone, not only technical team, but the main intention is they want to get an excellent, extraordinary output. That's it. Right. Bad reputation for quick and dirty methods. Quick and dirty. So when I say prototype, sometimes it like all of a immediately you have to do it. Client says that now I want the change, now I want the change. So when you're doing quick fast, so automatically sometimes some mistakes, it also happens, right? Quick and dirty methods. Overall maintainability may be overlooked. Yes, of course. Overall maintainability, it's huge, right? It's a lot of time, lot of resources, lot of time, money. Correct? Process may continue forever. Scope creep means repeating the work. I mean, adding something, like something you forgot, again you have to add it. So it's keep on changing. Scope creep means adding something. If you miss anything, you keep on adding to it. This is what all about weaknesses. And when to use prototyping model. Requirements are unstable or have to be clarified, as I told you, right? When client is not sure of requirements, then we go with this. And next one, as a requirement clarification stage of a waterfall model. I mean, we follow the same steps like analysis, design, development, what we see in waterfall model. We say follow the same steps. That is Sdlc, standard life cycle model. But the nature of work is little different here. In waterfall, we can't do. Here, we can do something like that. Okay. Develop user interfaces. Yes, interface. I mean, see. you have to design something. So how will you show it to client? You have to show it on a computer. You have to show it run on a computer and see. So interface you have to design, and shortly with demonstrations. Yes, for example, your client is somewhere. So demonstrate like this through WebEx or GoToMeeting or any remote conferences, video conferences, and show it to them. Or else, if the client is with you, then show it to through on a projector or something like that. Shortly I will do demonstrations bit by bit. Like today you designed a home page, like a online application, so immediately you show this. If any changes are needed, we can do it on it, then go to next page, like that. New original development, yes, it's for a new original development. It's for tailor made with the analysis and design portions of object oriented design. I mean, creating new objects. Okay, so with this prototype you can create new objects, any type of any object, any application. Okay, so any doubts you have in prototype model?
No,
No?
it's fine.
Right. We'll go with one more and we'll stop it. The third one is incremental model, the most important model and a very interesting model also. I mean, I feel it's interesting. I don't know about others. Okay, fine. Right. Before starting this incremental model, let me ask you a question here. So online banking application, right? So banking application. So when you log into this, you have different options like account statement download, or uh, you have fund transfer, correct, or bill payment. Like this, you have different options. So if I ask you, like, if I delete this, if I remove this fund transfer option completely from this online banking application, or uh, like bill payment option completely from this online banking application. So does that affects on other requirements? I mean, do you think that if I remove fund transfer option from online banking application, does that affects on the other requirements like account download, statement or bill transfer or some other fixed deposits? Tell me, does it affects or not?
No, I don't think it affects.
It won't affect, right? You think
No,
or you think or I mean, you think it affects or not?
I don't think it affects other
Yeah,
requirements.
exactly. Exactly. Yes, you are right. It don't affect because the requirements are independently designed, correct? They work, their
Okay.
nature of work is
Yes,
different.
they work independently.
Correct. They depend on each other. They don't depend on each other. They work independently. I mean, account download statement is for account statement option. Fixed deposit something, wherein balance inquiry is something. So they are not. I'm talking about fund transfer is something. So they are not related with each other. So such type of projects we use incremental model. Okay, second example, when you look into Google, under Google you have Gmail, YouTube, Google Play Store, images, Orkut, Google Plus. If I remove Gmail, nothing affects to YouTube. If I remove YouTube, nothing affects to Gmail. That means they are designed independently. So the question raises here is why they have to design like that? See, there is one more model that is non-incremental, but there is no such model, but I can say like non-incremental. Non-incremental means requirements which depend on each other. Can you give me for non-incremental example? I can say operating system, I can say cell phone. See, when I say operating system non-incremental, I'm talking operating system, all the requirements depend on each other. I mean, if you delete my computer, operating system will not work. If you remove control panel, OS will not work, correct? If you take an example of cell phone, if I remove call button, what is the use of phone then? If I remove connectivity, it won't work. If I remove some other options, you don't. I mean, what I'm saying is these all models are non-incremental. All the non-incremental projects, what they do, they move from old version to new versions. Like suppose if you want to do some changes in Windows XP, you can't do any changes, you have to come up with a new version. Clear? Because if you want to change some changes in the control panel, then immediately that affects on other requirements also. That is the reason these non-incremental models or always move from old version to new version model. But incremental, it is not like that. See, what is the drawback of that? I mean, what is the drawback for this on incremental. They have to design complete structure and they have to release in the market. For customers also, they have to keep on buying, like iPhone 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. They have to buy, they will buy obviously. But if you look into this online banking application, no need to change upgrading, right? I mean, that's just simply they add something in that. So it's a cost effective, I mean, correct? Now let's see. Okay, fine. So when, I mean, at what situation we have to follow this incremental? I mean, what is the purpose of designing this incremental model means when there is a risk of fund means money. Like let's say a small example here. Let's assume Google decided to design a Google search page. See, they have no idea whether this is going to be successful or not. I mean, people will accept it or not. Just they want to give a try. At the same time, they don't have much money also to design Gmail, YouTube, and all to design at a time. So what they did, they only implemented Google. They only designed Google search page and released in the market. People started using it slowly, and after a couple of months, many people, it attracted many people. After a year, what happened? It got money through advertisers. Got it? And with that money, what they did, they designed Gmail. Okay. So what you understand here? Risk of funding and risk of competition also. If you are not surviving, then leave it. They don't go to the next step. Correct? And there are so many risks like this. Like there is program complexity risk. Like suppose you are facing an issue with Gmail while you are designing a Gmail. If you are facing any programming issue, don't worry. Put it aside and release YouTube. That's it. Okay? Incremental model. So people will be waiting for your releases. So now latestly what you released, Google Play Store, correct? With all many apps. That's a new release, I can say. I mean, even 2 to 3 years, but whatever it is, it's a new thing. Before that, Google Drive, correct? So like this, when there is a risk of all these things, people follow this incremental model. So incremental model, let's say, construct a partial implementation of total system. Yes, at first you should design like Google search page, because before only you should have an idea. This will be the incremental. I will be keep on adding requirements to it. Then slowly add increased functionality. Okay. The incremental model prioritizes requirements of the system and then implement them in groups. Yes, which one to be released first? You want Gmail first or YouTube first? I mean, which one will generate more money? Okay, we have to, and which one is more useful to people? So we have to release that first as per the priority. Each subsequent release of the system adds function to the previous release until all design functionality has been implemented. Yes, previous release already there is an application, you are adding requirements to it. That's it. Let's see incremental model strengths. Develop high risk or major functions first, of course, right? But if you are designing a cell phone or an operating system, how can you design high risk first? I mean, it comes in a hierarchy, right? First control panel, then something, then something, then something. But overall, it's the requirements depend on each other. But here it is not like that. Each release delivers an operational product. Yes, separate. Okay, operational products. Customer can respond to each build, of course. Okay. Users divide and conquer breakdown of tasks. Yes, as I told you, right? So you can give it to different projects. Like Gmail will be doing some project, some team will be working on Gmail, some team will be working on YouTube, like that. Lowers initial delivery cost. But see, when you look into this divide and conquer, if you look into operating system, let's say we cannot design like my computer control panel separate. Got it? After control panel, you can design, because once you design control panel and when you're designing a computer, these requirements will be communicating with them and the relation is made between them. But here it is not like that, right? They are completely different, separate applications. Lowers initial delivery cost. Of course, when you design only Gmail, only YouTube, all the time it is cheaper only. Cost is lower. But when you look into the complete system, then it is not cheaper. Okay. Initial product delivery is faster. Of course, customers get important functionality early. Yes, that's a very big advantage. because in this competition world, let's say iPhone, 6 has is coming something. Meanwhile, like Samsung will be releasing something. Okay, they will be promising their customers like we are coming with something new, with new technology like that. Customers get important functionality early. Risk of changing requirements are reduced. Yes, risk of changing requirements are reduced means whenever you gather, these are the fresh requirements and the minimum requirements. So no need of think about the requirements. Like you're not going with the huge requirements part, right? And coming to weaknesses, requires good planning and design. Yes, requires early definition of a complete, fully functional system to allow for the definition of increments. Yes, before only you have to decide that this will be the incremental model. Well-defined module interfaces are required. Some will be developed long before others. Okay, like already, as I told you, right? Online banking application will be there. You have to keep adding applications. Some already someone already designed that online banking application. You have to add the requirements into that. That's it. Total cost of the complete system is not lower, of course. Next, when to use incremental model? Risk, as I told you, right? Funding, schedule, timing, program complexity. Also, I told you, or need for early realization of benefits. Most of the requirements are known upfront, but are expected to evolve over time. Yes, of course. Okay, you know what exactly we are going up, and we can change the requirements on time also. A need to get basic functionality to the market early. Hmm? Got it? Because it's a short project, faster project, in a fast time, again, quick time, we can do it. On projects which have lengthy development schedules. Now, look at this point. Can you tell me when this Facebook is going to stop their continuing the application? Or I mean, they keep on adding, right? Something like they added timeline picture, they added something. Or if you put it aside, let's look into Google. Okay, the best example. So can you tell me when this Google is going to stop coming up with new and new applications? No idea. Start time will be there for something, but there is
No.
no end time. Yeah, lengthy development schedules on a project with new technology. Yes, on a project with new technology means see the softwares are coming up, upgrading, new softwares are coming. So whenever you get a new software, with that you use the software and build a new requirement. Okay, like Google Drive is a new technology, Google Play Store is a new technology, correct? There are many advantages. And the last one here, this is the structure. Like you can gather all the requirements at a time and you can build like this. Like one is Gmail, one is YouTube, one is something like this, you can assume. Or else you can do it independently. I mean, it depends on the situation, depends on the priority, depends on the cost, money you have, funding. It's your flexibility. Okay, you can design, or else you can go first is Gmail, first is Google, then Gmail, then YouTube, like that, one after that one. Same stages: analysis, design, programming, and testing, coding and testing. That's it. Any doubts? Any doubts from me?
No, it's okay. It's fine.